everybody, it's Drybear. Lost Ark launched in February of this year, and it's been a fun ride, and all along the way I've been checking in on the class popularity. It's something that you can check in other regions, but that data is not publicly available in Lost Ark for the West. So I've been doing different ways and methods to measure the class popularity in the West. And the last time I did it was before Reaper and Summoner came out over the last 2 months. It was early November. So today we're going to check in on the class popularity. How do Reaper and Summoner stack up relative to other launches? Since I did the class popularity for all of the class launches prior, I can tell you how they look compared to the others. And we'll dive into today something a little bit different than before. We'll look at the usage of each engraving for the class as a percentage. So how many sorks are igniter, how many sorks are not, they're more reflux. So let's dive into it. If you have any questions or comments for me, you'll find me live every day on twitch.tv/Drybear. Come say hi. So here we go. I figured instead of trying to separate it all out, I'd give you a one sheet that you can look at. So on the left side of the screen, you can see all 21 classes that are in the game, including Reaper and Summoner, their overall popularity in the game, and their relative change since the last time I measured class popularity before Reaper and Summoner came out, and then their relative position across those. I put a star next to Reaper and Summoner because obviously we don't know where they would have landed before they came out, so there they are. So this is, though the green is going up, red is going down in position since the last time I looked at it. On the right side of the screen, I have gone through and measured out the usage of each of the class engravings. Now, some classes are still going to be, there's some weirdnesses going on there. I think supports are a great measurement of this. You'll find Bard and Paladin to be mostly using their primary support engraving. But as you can see, Blessed Aura versus Judgment, some even Blessed Aura builds will use Judgment 1 just to mix in a little bit of the benefits you get from Judgment. So it's not going to be a clear-cut line. But it is interesting to see how many of these people that are playing that class utilize one class engraving over the other. So let's jump into the numbers. And I guess not. Before we jump into that, quick disclaimer on how this is done. It's a method that I've been developing all year on how to measure the activity of classes on the auction house. So it's based on class engravings, accessories, bracelets, whatever it is, whatever you need for that class. I measure the activity of that on the auction house. It's not a perfect system. It certainly is. It has its pitfalls, but aside from having an actual API, we have no way to get the actual data. I feel like this is probably the best we're going to get unless someone from AGS or Smilegate comes out and says, hey, here's the class popularity. So here we go. Let's dive into it. Sorceress and Gunslinger completely unchanged at the very top of the list. Not too surprising. Gunslinger actually shot up in popularity. She started maybe in the top 5 and then shot up to 2nd place last time. And this time she has kind of solidified that. Igniter Reflux is 50-50. It's actually, I think, 51% Igniter, 50 or like 49.2% Reflux. I just rounded up for each of them so that you could have that split. But it's actually pretty even between Reflux and Igniter. Not the case for Gunslinger though. Peacemaker, 61% of the Gunslingers are running Peacemaker, 39% for Time to Hunt. I figured this would actually be more disparaged, to be honest. I thought that Peacemaker would be closer to 70 or 75, but I guess there are plenty of Time to Hunt Gunslingers out there. Scrapper, after, comment down below what you think this is. Scrapper used to be at the very bottom of the list. Actually, I think on the launch month, Scrapper was the most unpopular class in the entire game. Not many people started the launch of Western Lost Ark playing a Scrapper. And slowly and steadily, Scrapper has climbed this list. And then she kind of sat maybe where Paladin is right now, in the bottom 6, bottom 7. And then recently, right after when the fall started, Scrapper shot right up. Some people say it's because popular streamers started picking up Scrapper in the West. Some people say it's because of the buffs that they got. I don't know if either of those are ironclad in it actually showing in the numbers itself, but let me know what you think down below. Since the last time I measured, where Scrapper was 4th, it has eclipsed Deathblade, and Scrapper is now the 3rd most popular class in Western Lost Ark. I'm flabbergasted. And even the split here, Shock Training a little bit less popular than Taijutsu. I thought this would be really low on shock training because it's much harder to play. Taijutsu is very flowy, but you know, the numbers are here. Scrapper super popular and almost 50-50 with a little bit of a leaning towards Taijutsu. Deathblade in 4th place, dropping slightly under Scrapper. Surge is still losing the remaining energy, but it's pretty close to even. Now, some of this could just be people running Surge normally and then RE for Chaos Dungeons, but I doubt that would show up that much in their purchase activity. Showing that. So remaining energy taking a little bit of a lead, but it's pretty close to 50-50 for Deathblade. Reaper brand new, and actually, so this is actually really promising for Reaper in general. So I'd say that the only class that did better than Reaper and Summoner on launch was Glavier. Glavier was easily the most popular class launch in Western Lost Ark by a mile. It trumped everything. Everyone made a Glavier. Everyone had a Glavier on the roster. And what's tough to measure about Lost Ark class popularity is people are very roster focused. It will have multiple characters. So it's not like this is, it's an approximation of what people are maining, but people change mains all the time. They have a big roster. They play multiple characters. Newer characters will show more activity if they're brand new. But I can tell you that Reaper and Summoner have done better than Machinist, then Destroyer, and yeah, both of those. Machinist and Destroyer, not, and Arcanist, actually. Machinist, Destroyer, and Arcanist had rather weak launches. Just not great overall. Arcanist actually had the best of the 3. Destroyer was pretty abysmal launch. Not many people made Destroyers. Slowly over time, people have been picking up Destroyers. We saw a surge of Destroyers maybe right before Reaper came out, and then they've dropped down back again. So they're just at the bottom there. Not too surprising. So I think Summoner and Reaper, both great. The fact that Reaper is higher than Summoner, even after Summoner just launched, shows that Reaper is one of the more popular classes in the game. At 6.2%, being a brand new class for over a month now, pretty shocking. Reaper exceptionally popular, very well liked. Hunger is a little bit higher than Lunar Voice, but not by much. Very similar to Deathblade. It's about 50-50 on the split there. Summoner, brand new, not eclipsing Reaper. You'll see a little bit of this in the first few weeks of a new class because people need to gear it out. Although, you know, if they had saved their event, their bonus event, they may have gotten that Summoner up quickly. It shows that Summoner probably is stronger release than Arcanist, Machinist, and Destroyer, but not as good as Reaper or Glavier was on launch, which is kind of interesting. Comment down below what you think, because they did end up, I mean, rumor has it they delayed Summoner because they wanted Sorceress in the game, which I think was the right call, because Sorceress has honestly never lost the first slot for popularity, ever. And this is excluding, this is only end of tier 3 activity, so you won't see too many bots in here. There still be some, but not too many. That's why Berserker is a lot lower. But Sorceress has just been one of the most popular, it has been the most popular class in the game ever since I've been doing this. So Summoner still really high up there. Obviously, maybe they were afraid Summoner was going to end up like Arcanist or like Soulfist or Destroyer, but over time, it's just been showing really, really good. So if you have a Summoner, comment down below, let it shine, shout it from the mountaintops. Communication overflow, a little bit lower than Master Summoner. I actually haven't seen and haven't looked in West specifically if people are running which builds they're running specifically, but of the 2 class engravings, this is the split that they have. Artillerist has shot way up, and I don't have a good answer for this. I'm not sure why Artillerist shot up so high. And not only that, but the Barrage build is winning by 56% over the 44% on Firepower. So people just really like the new Barrage build. My Artillerist is the new Barrage build. I love the Barrage build. It's super fun. I like jumping into my spinny office chair and trying to find ways to get in and out of that efficiently without getting caught in some mechanic. And I think that gameplay is fun. But Artillerist way up, like significantly higher than it was, beating out even Berserker now, which is kind of unheard of. Berserker was in the top 3 for a very long time. I would say the first half of the year, Berserker was in the top 3. It's been slowly walking its way down. Comment down below why you think that is. Some people say it's because Berserker is just too difficult. fun to play, easy to get into, low floor, but the ceiling is really high and it's super punishing. You play a super fast class and then you play a berserker in hard content like Clown and Brel. You feel like you're stuck in animation constantly, you're dying constantly. It's just kind of grates on people. So I think over time they're starting to move away from their berserker main. Mayhem's still crushing the charts, 58% over 42% on berserker technique. Shadowhunter has gone down 2 places since Reaper and Summoner have come out. So it's not even relative to them bumping them down. These would actually be +2, obviously, because Reaper and Summoner would be new. I've excluded that. So this is just down 2 from where it was. It used to be where Artillerist was, but with Artillerist coming up and then Scrapper showing up has bumped the Shadowhunter down, unfortunately. War Dancer, actually Demonic Impulse, 67%. This one's not too surprising. I love my Perfect Suppression, but I didn't expect that it would be the most popular. 67% on Demonic Impulse doesn't surprise me one little bit. War Dancer has even come up a little. I figured War Dancer was done growing. War Dancer was super popular in US East, but US West, Latin America, and then all EU regions, War Dancer was not popular for the first half of the year. It got some buffs, some reworks, some cleanups, and then it's been slowly climbing as people are more willing to dare into War Dancer. And it's climbed again. It's gone up 1. It's moved forward. Esoteric is now closer to First Intention since the changes we saw over the summer. So they're about 50-50. Pretty good. Glavier has come down again. And this is another one. Comment down below why you think Glavier has been falling. Glavier, like I said, it ended up being the top 4 on launch. So that's on launch without people, like, they had to make their character on launch, gear it up, hone it, get it to the point where it would show up in endgame tier 3, and it still showed up in the top 4, top 5. Very popular, but just like Berserker has been slowly going down the popularity charts over time. And I'm curious what you guys think as to why that's been going on. Some people say that it's just it's falling out of favor relative to the back attack classes. You can run a pinnacle back attack build, even obviously back attack control, but it's just been slowly dropping in popularity. Pinnacle's at 56% and control 44%. Striker has dropped down again. Deathblow is beating out Esoteric Flurry. I think Striker is in the same boat, especially Deathblow. I think excels in endgame content, but it is quite punishing. It's like a Surge Deathblade, where if you miss your Deathblow, it can be really punishing. And I think, people would rather play a faster War Dancer, or they'd rather play an Assassin, or I guess maybe everyone's being a Scrapper. Maybe all of these, maybe Glavier and Striker players became Scrappers. That's what happened. Gunlancer, down 1 place, has pretty much been, actually, they were up before. They were down a little bit further before, but they've always been around mid. I think they are very polarizing. People either love Gunlancer or they hate it. It's not for them. And they're actually pretty 50-50 over red versus blue as well. Mine's red. I love red, but combat readiness, blue Gunlancer's a little bit higher, but it's pretty close to 50-50. Under that is the Bard, which hasn't changed. 88% Desperate Salvation. Supports are the ones where you're going to see the biggest disparity, because obviously there's not that many DPS Bards, thank God, and there's not that many DPS Paladins, though again, Paladins will still run Judgment at lower levels just to get the extra benefit for meter and things like that. So Bard still sitting about where it is. I think Bard and Paladin, they're probably about where I think these need to be much higher, and I've said this every time. Obviously, if you want a 1 support in every group of 4, you need to have 25% total. So you'd want probably like 12% split here, which none of them are that high anyway. It's hard to really measure how a roster is defined. Like maybe people have 1 Bard, or they have 1 Paladin and they have 5 DPS, and that's going to be inflated here. But then again, that player that has those 6 characters, they're only playing their Bard 1/6 of the time, then it's just harder to get supports that way. Shout out to the supports out there that are making it work. Paladin has come down 2 slots. We used to be beating Bard by a lot. Bard has been kind of watching as Paladin falls a little bit in popularity. Maybe people just really like the extra skill expression that you get with Bard, or the extra damage buffs as people get better at the game. I would say Bard, when people are better at the game, is more fun to play, at least for me. than Paladin because you know, you can amp people up at the right moment, and it's very satisfying to line that up, or you know, there's more targeted things. Blessed Aura is at 70%, not that surprising. Destroyer, right under Paladin at 3.88%. Gravity Training has come up a lot from what it was, but still is nowhere near beating Ragehammer. Ragehammer still is at 58% total of the usages. I think if I looked at this like when Destroyer first came out, Gravity Training was down in the dumps. It was like 20 to 25%. They did a big rework where they made it a lot easier to play, a lot more fluid. You get in and out of the super gravity, the hypergravity, whatever, more often, and you can rely on it. It's just like the barrage changes they made for Artillerists. They made that part of the core gameplay, which made it fun, but Ragehammer's still winning out. Arcanist, 54% Empress, 46% Emperor. Again, on launch, Emperor was much lower, and again, they did some big changes. I've been playing Emperor since I got my Arcanist. Even in actually in Korea, I played Arcanist Empress, but in West, since I made my Arcanist, she's been Emperor, and I think the changes that they made are awesome. They're super fun, a lot more damage on normal skills, some new cards that make the cards that are only Empress. They swap them out for Emperor, so you can still use them. Super cool. And then a big statistical drop off towards the bottom 4. Soul Fist has remained in the 4th to last spot. Robust Spirit has fallen a lot. Robust Spirit used to be exclusive, like very, very high percent. Now it's down underneath, and Energy Overflow overtakes with 56%. Energy Overflow is more fluid, easier to play, more straightforward, less punishing, less ultimate reliant. In fact, I think the overall gameplay of Energy Overflow is better. The only reason I'm still Robust Spirit on my Soul Fist is because I hate having a wimpy ultimate. No matter which one you use on Energy Overflow, it just feels like it's a normal ability. It doesn't really do that much because you're just kind of spamming normal abilities. But Energy Overflow, 56%. It's overtaken. Robust Spirit is fallen down the way. Machinist at 2.74%. Machinist bumped up over Sharpshooter, came up 1. Sharpshooter went down 1. The trifecta of suffering is Soulfish, Sharpshooter, Deadeye. It's always been the bottom 3 in other regions. I guess Machinist has fallen into that trap and now is mingling and having coffee with Soulfish, Sharpshooter, and Deadeye down at the bottom, but has pushed Sharpshooter and Deadeye down to take the 3rd to last spot. And 63% of these Machinists are Evolutionary Legacy, which is the transformation build. We compare that to the Shadow Hunter, which is 67% Demonic Impulse. You see a couple more people that are AT. I call it AT because it's Arthitinian technology in other regions, but Arthitinian skill. So you have a little bit more there. So AT build, a little more popular than Perfect Suppression, but the transformation build still winning out by quite a bit. Sharpshooter falling down 1, being bumped out by Machinist. Deathstrike less popular than Loyal Companion, though Deathstrike has come up a good bit. Not a little bit. It's come up a little bit. Loyal Companion, I think, is a little more straightforward. There's even some swiftness builds that people are running with Loyal Companion. I think Deathstrike's more fun. My Sharpshooter is Deathstrike, but that's the split there. A little bit more popular on Loyal Companion. And last, at the very bottom, the saddest class that's probably one of the strongest classes in the entire game, but just doesn't get the love it deserves, is Deadeye, or Dedge. 2.38% of the population. Enhanced weapon, 69% of the build. It's definitely the more higher performing one. Super satisfying when you get it right. When you can get like nuts to butts in the back of the boss with back attack, entropy, and you dump all your shotgun skills, it is very satisfying. Pistolier, a lot less popular at 31%, but it is there. So that's the class popularity. I figured I'd amp it up this time a little bit, catch up with the new classes that came in, as I've been covering other games besides Lost Ark. And then I figured I'd include the class engravings, just another interesting tidbit to look at for the game itself. So comment down below what surprised you, if you're a Deadeye, Machinist, Sharpshooter, or Soul Fist main, fists in the air, show your solidarity in chat and down in the comments. Let people know that you are here and you're not going anywhere. If you're Sorceress, Gunslinger, and then I guess Scrapper, I can't get used to Scrapper being so high, but there it is. It's right there in the face. Let me know what surprised you, what shocked you, what you felt should have been the case down in the comments below. And if you have any questions or comments for me, you'll find me live every day on twitch.tv/Drybear. I'll see you there. If you enjoyed yourself today, leave a like down below. You can support me and my work on Patreon and view Patreon exclusive content, link in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.